Hello, everyone. This is part two of the lecture on leadership. I talked about Simon Sinek in the first part of the video, and I want to tell you a little bit a story about how I came to understand and become introduced to Simon and his work on the first part. We're doing some work at Alcon. We're trying to build and grow our culture, and one of the things that we wanted to build was a sense of identity, who we are, what we did, and why should people buy from us. And happened to be introduced to some of Simon's work, and we were having a national sales meeting where I bring all of my team together. So roughly there'd be 600 people in this national sales meeting. And normally we'd have some kind of keynote speaker to kick it off, either a sports star or a leadership expert, someone to get the team fired up. And I wanted to have Simon Sinek come and speak to us on this golden circle and the why, what, and how that he talks about in his video. So I contacted Simon's people. Yes, he has people. And his charge for, I think, a 90-minute keynote speech was $35,000 plus travel and hotel. We had to cover all his costs. And while that's pretty steep, it's not uncommon for a top flight speaker. So I said, yes, we'd love to have him come. But unfortunately, Simon had already moved past the start with why keynote address, and he had moved on to another topic called Leaders Eat Last, which I'd suggest that you watch on YouTube as well. And I said, look, there's no way I'm going to pay that much money to have someone who works for Simon come and do that address. For me, the whole thing was having Simon come. And so we opted not to do that. We chose to go another direction, but it was my first brush with trying to get him to come speak to my organization. Let's finish up the content in chapter 5. It talks about delegation. Of course, we all know what delegation is, which is to have someone who works for us do something that we may normally have done ourselves. And with that, we need to give them and empower them, but we also need to hold them accountable. And one of the great things about delegation is it allows an individual to grow and develop perhaps into a larger role because we've asked them to do something that perhaps they're not normally comfortable in doing. There's some reasons why leaders don't do delegation. And they sound a little silly when you think about it, right? One is, they're afraid that maybe the individual will make a mistake and they'll make the leader look bad. Or, I'd rather do it myself because I know I can count on myself. Or if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. Or, boy, if they get really good at that, might I be replaced? They don't need me anymore because the team can do it themselves, and therefore they don't need a leader or a manager. And all those really are short-sighted. And I would say that if you ever get into the situation where you're a supervisor or a manager or a leader, you just have to put those aside. You as the responsible person will look better in the organization's eyes if you grow and develop your people and they can do more than they were hired to do. So I would say embrace and then execute delegation. The chapter really winds up in talking about different leadership styles. The first is autocratic or authoritarian. And that really relies on formal authority and threats, and you force people to do stuff. You're a taskmaster. And surely not the type of supervisor we would want to be. And then there's, general supervision and participative management, which I really like. Participative management allows employees to influence and share in the organizational decision making. So as an employee, we would want to be treated that way, wouldn't we? For sure. Yeah. Finally, the book talks about followership, and I just want to kind of end our talk on that. There's been a lot of research and a lot of publications on the importance of followership. And followership just means, what's it take, to be a good follower in an organization. And you need to be committed to the organization. You need to agree with and support the ideals of the organization, and then be willing to invest your hard work in helping the organization and that leader be successful. One of the things I heard several years ago is this concept of being all in. All in meaning, you come to work with not only your skills and your hands, but your mind and your heart. You buy into that organization fully, and you are fully committed to that leader and to what that organization is. So I urge you to think about this concept of all in as you develop your own leadership style. That's all for now. See you soon.